Senators are lining up for those freebies. Democratic Senator Ben Nelson, who got $100 million for a state in the Senate health care bill, well, now he's saying that he's been approached by three senators seeking similar deals. Could this be a deal breaker? Reaction out from Republican Senator John Thune of South Dakota. Senator, thanks for appearing on the show. Apparently, everybody's saying, well, why not me? Why not? Why should I come back with the bacon now for my state? Do you think this could possibly upset this bill?
I think it could. Good afternoon, by the way, Charles, and Merry Christmas to you. We are trying as best we can to defeat this bill, and I think these latest revelations about all these sweetheart deals is going to make it more difficult because the American people are reacting to this and they don't like it. They didn't like it before, where this bill was headed with all the tax increases and the Medicare cuts and the premium increases for most Americans. And now they're finding out about all these hundreds of millions of dollars that are being put out there in order to buy that extra 60th vote. And I think most Americans find that to be extremely unsavory, and they're starting to react to it, and I hope that it has some impact on votes in the United States Senate. We need to defeat this bill because it's bad for America. And I hope that these latest revelations will give us the ammunition to do that. And it's clear already that you've seen all this tumult among the Democrats, that they're having lots of problems with this as well.
I want you to hear what Senator Tom Harkin had to say, his reaction to these so-called sweetheart deals.
There's a lot of small stuff in this bill that people have put in there, but on almost every case, even the one that's being talked about for Nebraska, it also benefits other states. It's not just Nebraska.
When they talk, and when we hear people in Washington talk about these billions, even millions of dollars, like small deals, little bitty things that don't matter, it gives everyone a bad taste in their mouth. But is that going to be enough to turn the tide right now?
I think it may be. I think the one thing that really is on most Americans' minds is all this borrowing, all this spending, all this taxing. They know that in their own family budgets they're having to tighten their belts this year. They know we've got an economy and a recession, and yet they see Washington on this spending spree. And this particular health care entitlement bill is $2.5 trillion in new spending, financed with Medicare cuts and tax increases. And now they're finding out about all these special deals, and 49 states are going to have to pay for the special deal that Nebraska got. And I think most Americans just find that very offensive, and I think that's why the public reaction continues to build against this legislation, and hopefully it will be enough to the point where some of these Democrats come to their senses and decide in the end to help us defeat it.
And yet, Senator, Republicans have agreed to even push up the vote sooner on Christmas Eve. So, I hear what you're saying, but that to me tells me that maybe they've thrown in the towel, at least at this part of the fight.
Well, I think we're going to fight this to the end, and we've got some votes, some procedural votes tomorrow afternoon. We're raising some points of order against the bill. There's another cloture vote tomorrow afternoon. They're going to have to get 60 votes again. The final vote on final passage on Christmas Eve is only a 51 vote margin, but we're going to make them get 60 votes to increase the debt limit, and we're getting an agreement to get some amendments voted on that we've been trying to get voted on for a long time when we come back in January. One is ending the TARP program, which is my amendment. But I think that in the end, we realize that they've got a long ways to go to get this across the goal line, and we're going to do everything we can along the way to defeat it, because as is clear from the Senate debate, you increasingly see the disconnect between what people here in Washington are doing and what the American people are saying. You've got 61% of people across the country in polls saying they are opposed to this. I think that number continues to grow, and so I'm hoping that even though they may get this through the Senate this week, that when they get into these conference negotiations between the House and the Senate, that people will start coming to their senses and we'll be able to muster the political support that's necessary. And it only takes one Democrat in the Senate. All we need is one courageous Democrat to stop this, Charles.
Okay, listen, we've got just a few seconds, but do you have someone that you're looking at, that one person that you guys are talking to right now?
Well, there are several sort of on our radar screen, but I think they're starting to realize what a historic mistake they're making, and particularly those who profess to be fiscal hawks. And now with all these special sweetheart deals, I think it becomes even more difficult for some of those. So we're going to keep those conversations going.
Senator John Thune, really appreciate your time.
Thanks, Charles.
Thanks.